Dear students, today we will read chapter 6, Mr. Lorry's Visit of A Tale of Two Cities. Mr. Lorry is friend of Dr. Manette and he works in Telsus Bank, London. Dr. Manette's house was in a quiet street in London. One fine Sunday, 4 months after the trial for treason. Remember this trial for treason? It was for Charles Darnley. Mr. Lorry arrived there. In fact, Mr. Lorry had got into the habit of spending Sundays with the doctor. Okay, every Sunday he used to go to Manette's house. The doctor had once again taken up his old profession. Old profession means earlier also he was working as a doctor, and now again he is working as doctor and was earning enough to take care of his daughter and himself. Mr. Lorry rang the doorbell and was ushered in, means he was allowed to enter into the house by a servant who told him that the family would soon be home. They were not at home, Lucy and Dr. Manette, at that time. As Mr. Lorry waited, he saw the shoemaker's bench and tools in the corner of one of rooms. I wonder, said Mr. Lorry about to himself. He is talking to himself that I wonder why does he means Dr. Manette keep that here, these things, why these what these things are doing here. Why wonder at that, said a very loud voice, and whose voice is that? This is Miss Pross. It was Miss Pross standing at the door. Miss Pross is the caretaker of Lucy. Standing at the door, she was as red as she was before. Earlier also she was having red hair, and now also she is having the same. How are you? She asked Mr. Lorry. Pretty well, thank you, said Mr. Lorry. How are you? Not very well. And what is the reason that she is not feeling well? She says, I'm very much put out about my Lucy. She is anxious about Lucy, and the reason is I don't want dozens of people who are not worthy of her coming to see her. She says that many people come to visit her, and Miss Pross does not like that. And then Mr. Lorry asks her that do dozens come? Then Miss Pross says not only dozens but hundreds. Dear me, said Mr. Lorry, may I ask, does the doctor ever talk about his shoemaking time? The shoemaking time means when he was in the prison. No, he never says a word about it. Yet he keeps the bench and the tools near him. This bench and the tools are the same he was working on when he was in the prison. Do you think he has any idea of the cause of his imprisonment? Mr. Lorry wants to know the reason why he was put into the prison. And then he says, I ask this not out of curiosity, but with a wish to help him. He wanted to help Dr. Manette. If one touches on the topic, on the subject means on the topic. And then Miss Pross says that if one wants to talk about that topic, he takes a turn for the worst. His situation gets worse. Lucy has understood that on certain nights when he was walking up and down, his mind was working up and down his old prison. And then Miss Pross says that now Lucy understands that she understands that when he is not able to sleep at night, that means at that time he is thinking about his present time. Lucy walked with him till his mind calmed down, replied Miss Pross, and then she gives him company until he is able to sleep. They could hear the sound of steps, and Lucy and her father came in. Then dinner was served, and when it was over, they went into the garden. And there, Darnay came, and Lucy and Dr. Manette greeted him. Dr. Manette was feeling well now. He looked years younger than when he left the prison. When he was in the prison, he was looking very old and weak. Now he is looking better. Now he was talking on many subjects. And what was the main subject? London and its history. Dr. Manette, said Darnay, have you seen much of the tower? He is talking about the tower. Lucy, and then Dr. Manette replies that Lucy and I have seen it, replied Dr. Manette. We stayed only a little while. It is dreadful prison. It is terrible prison. I was there too, not as a visitor, but as a prisoner. Who was there as a prisoner? This Darnay. There they told me a strange story. What was that? Lucy asked eagerly, very excitedly. Lucy asked that. What was the story you were told when you were in the prison? In making some changes in the tower, when they were making some changes in the tower, at that time, replied Darnay, they found an old cell. One room was there, an old cell was there, which had been forgotten, and it was the same cell where Dr. Manette was put in. Every wall was carved, and one prisoner had cut three letters on it. Okay, every wall was carved, and what was written? A word was written of three letters, and it was dig. The three letters seemed to be the word dig. Then, under a stone, they found ashes of paper, and a small leather bag. These two things were there uh, that were found under a stone, ashes of paper, and a small leather bag. Father, cried Lucy, you are ill. And then Lucy looked at his father. He did not seem okay to her. Dr. Manette had suddenly startled up. Startled up means he was shocked up with his hand on his hand, which terrified the others. And because he was shocked, others means Laurie, Darnay, and Lucy were also frightened. No, my dear, not ill. Then Dr. Manette said that no, I'm not ill. These are, he changed the topic. He said that there are large drops of rain falling. Let us go in. They went in quickly. Dr. Manette seemed better, and no more was said about the paper found in the tower. Actually, this was the same paper that was written by Dr. Manette about Darnay's father and his uncle. The rain fell heavily, and it was late before the visitors could leave. Then the rain started heavily, and it was very late before the visitors left the place. Thank you.